Welcome to the truth, where the truth is real enough for a man, but we say it's made for a woman. Well, we just threw all that out the door because the truth is made for the world. Tune in. Welcome to the truth. I'm your boy Javon DeWan with my brothers right now, Mr. Brad James, Mr. Stevie Baggs Jr., and Pastor Mark Couch. And Beyonce has got her name back, and she's now Jennifer Lopez. Cute Harper.
Oh,
we don't know what Jennifer Lopez is. I think she's on a first-class flight to the Grammys. But I don't know if the Grammys even is the Grammys working, Stevie? Where they at?
no, there's no Grammys, but she J-Lo doing her thing, man. She probably in the Bronx somewhere, but it's okay.
Hey man,
it's what I expected.
We're under quarantine, bro. Beyonce is on the way though.
Man, for real. So listen, fellas, really quickly, I want to be energetic because I'm so elated about the news that we got today when it pertains to George Floyd and the things that he's been through. Now, all the police officers have been charged. How do you feel about that, Stevie? How does it make you feel?
It's still not going to bring back this brother's life, but it does give some reconciliation, considering that they took part in taking the brother's life. So, kudos to the Minnesota chief of police. I think he had a lot to do with that. I saw that brother's interview, and kudos to him and the people who charged those guys, because it was definitely a nasty act.
What about you, Pastor Mark? How do you feel?
I ain't giving kudos to nobody. They should have been charged.
Hey.
This is justice. This is justice that's past due, bro. You know what I mean? So how do I feel about it? I feel a sense of relief, but I also understand that we got a whole nother step, a whole nother hurdle we got to take. And this next hurdle of conviction is going to be just as difficult as it was to get them charged. And they don't, if they don't convict these dudes, they ain't seen nothing get tore up yet. They're gonna tear up the world for real. They don't get no conviction.
What do you think, Brad?
I back up my brother Mark Couch on this. Like they better fall all the way through with everything that they said that they're doing. And, hopefully it's not too little too late, but they should have acted on this from the get-go.
I agree. But I'm just glad that we're taking steps in the right direction. I know we're supposed to take the steps a long time ago, but I was really afraid at one point that they was not going to charge these guys. Like, seriously. So when I saw it today, I was like, man, hold up. Okay, we're at least trying to take some real steps into changing the perspectives of how I felt into justice, like for real, because I know how hard it is. Now, you're right. If they don't convict them, they're really going to test something up. Seriously, because everybody got to watch. And I told Gas this the other day. I was like, the reason why I think the whole world is upset is because it's the first time you got to watch somebody die in slow motion. What I mean by that, 9 minutes is a very long time when you get to change your mind. Even when you're choking somebody, that's one thing. When you're killing somebody, that's another thing. But 9 minutes of sitting on a man's neck when you have an opportunity to move, that's tough.
But isn't it crazy, though, despite all of this, that all the peaceful stuff we've been talking about, all the Kaepernick kneeling, and everybody got to talk about all that, that it took the whole world being on fire before they finally said they're going to arrest these dudes?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's how the world is. We are followers, not leaders. We're always looking for someone else to lead the thoughts that we are. And then once it becomes tangible, I think then that's when we stand up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We live in a society.
All the single ladies need to know that Beyonce just entered the chat.
Oh,
Beyonce is here.
You got your name back.
Jennifer Lopez.
You got your name back.
I told you, Stevie, just be patient. Just be patient. It ain't gonna take long.
Be steadfast. Just be steadfast is what he said.
Unmovable.
That's the word. Yeah.
Always about me.
Verily, I say unto you, you got your name back.
I see red is the color tonight.
Yeah, red is the color tonight, dog.
Red is the color. I put it on gallery view so we can see everybody wearing all the little red and with the words on it.
Man, it's crazy. Did y'all plan this or what?
Hey, yo, this is my personal shirt. You can go to Exodus store and get it right now. I don't know about nobody else. I'm representing me.
What's
these shirts
on
on sale?
COVID-19 on there?
Hey, man, Brad, they in the group right now. 112 is back.
Listen, and it's diagonal. Look at the way it's shaped.
It's crazy. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. We
Hey,
were
it
just
might
talking
not be
about
112. It might be that group that was performing the other night. What do they call them? 110. It might be 110. But it ain't no
110.
112. I know Q can't say nothing, but I can say it. Goddamn it, I can say what I want to
That
say.
shit was 111. That shit was 211. Anyway, hey, so look,
It wasn't no
hey, Q,
112. I tell you that.
nah, if you don't have QPs in there, no, it's not 112. Anyway, Q, you just missed the segue. We were talking about these 4 officers that got arrested. They have yet to get convicted, but they got arrested. How do you feel about the 4 officers that were involved in the Floyd, knee in the neck?
I
Peace.
mean,
How do you feel about that?
I mean, dude, I share the same sentiments that I'm pretty sure everybody, man. We saw what we saw. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to try to justify what we saw. And the way that I grew up is when you are guilty of something, you gotta pay the penalty. And it just shows what frustrates me, man, is it just shows you what type of society we live in, the type of government that we have, that when you can give all the evidence, I mean, when it's right there in your face, they will still try to make a way to make it not what it is. Trying to go all the angles of, well, what happened prior to, what happened leading up to it. Well, was he intoxicated? Was he any of those things? And at the end of the day, man, none of that really matters, man, because what we witnessed was somebody on live television be murdered. And damn what happened before or what was in the system or whatever. As a police officer, your job is to protect and serve. Your job ain't to bring bodily harm, especially when it's not warranted. And so, man, it always frustrates me when I see these type of incidents, man, because they will always hide behind resisting. Like that has become a part of their vocabulary. They'll just show up, stop resisting. When you're like, bro, I haven't even done anything, but they'll hide behind the 2 words, stop resisting, to kind of validate why they're doing what they're doing. And I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not even satisfied. Yeah, they've gotten arrested, but I want to see the charge.
Right.
These dudes need to go up the road forever.
You start a charge, bro. You want to see the conviction.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys just so happen to see the full video of like when they first pulled them over, the 2 other people in the car, how they had them across the street, walked them across you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was something in that to me that was super fishy. Like it's super. Number one, if you pull a person over, you're gonna be right behind them, or you should be right behind them. And I'm speculating here. I don't know what happened before that. I don't know, but it just seemed weird. The 2 other people in the car, they look kind of like derelict-ish, if you would. They just left, and then it just didn't seem right.
Man,
what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'm gonna say this, Stevie, and I'm not gonna speak to that specifically, but I'm gonna speak more general. I'm gonna quote the philosopher, the late great M.A.C., and he stated that there's a time in society where change is inevitable and revolution is necessary. And so I believe that we're in this season right now that change is going to come, and this is a space where we will not go back. I think that this is the straw that broke the camel's back, and I think that the government is going to start to make some changes. I think that Black people as a culture, we are making changes. We see the necessity of supporting each other, having each other's back. People posting up stuff, man, support your Black businesses. These go vote, go. I ain't never seen so much go vote stuff come across the screen. So it's a change, man, that's happening that was overdue, but to everything there's a time and a season.
I think that's absolutely true. But I'm gonna say this too: the same way that that murderer that used to be a cop did, we're gonna have to stay on the government's neck. The same way for them to be able to make those changes, because the second you let off, we know how the U.S. is. They're gonna get away with whatever the hell they can get away with as long as it plays into their advantage. So I think we as a people have to stay on their neck. And I don't mean necessarily burning down cities, but sometimes the threat that you might not behave the way they want you to behave is enough to make change.
And I want to add to that, that's very important. Y'all got to remember, a lot of times we do a lot of this, and I agree with you, Mark, that I think this time is amplified on another level, right? People are really speaking out. People are really doing it. But it's very, very important that it's not a sabbatical. It's not something that we do for a certain amount of time and then get off of it. It has to be a lifestyle. Stevie can't go to the gym and say, I'm just going to get a diet. He in the gym for real, and he's deciding this is what I'm going to do, however long it takes. That's what we got to do to really have change. We got to know that we want a new lifestyle. We want a new support system. We want new laws. We want new rules. We want to do these things like Martin Luther King did, where, you know, people didn't watch the underground things that he did before he got to his protest. He lived, breathed it. He died for it. So a lot of people are not willing to live, breathe, and die for the things that they believe.
Vaughn, what? I just want to say this to that point.
Mm-hmm.
We always bring up Martin Luther King. We always bring up Malcolm X and all these different people who lost their lives, mind you, violently, especially Martin Luther King.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially Martin Luther King, when we always talk about nonviolence, he lost his life violently.
Right.
Let's just talk about that. But then the other thing I want to bring up is that we live in a society that when you hear the word humane society, we talking about animals and not people.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a society that our government, which governs your mental, if you don't govern it yourself, they will govern your mental. We live in a government that is not a nation. Our government is as a corporation, because a nation has an emperor, a king, a chief. A corporation has a president, vice president, board of directors. Once we recognize that the voting structure, the Constitution, the legislation, and the judicial system that we're under is broken, it's all the way messed up, and we're protesting to a system that was never created for us in the first place, I think that's the first thing that we have to recognize, that you're never going to get change in a system that was never created for you in the first place.
So I have
that's my point.
Right. I have to say to you, you know, to combat that, is that, yes, his belief was nonviolent, and he definitely lost his life in a violent way. Because one thing about it, I can't really control your actions. I only can control my actions and my belief, right? Whatever I believe in. So I stand for that, regardless of what that may be. And you're right. This system was never built on anything for us and will never be built on anything for us. But if you want any kind of change, small change, penny change, Abraham Lincoln change on the penny, but I'm going to put you on the copper and the nigga, and I'm going to turn everybody else away from you, whatever it may be, want to go vote, and Martin Luther King get us to vote, sit us down in the same restaurant, small change. The only way we're going to even get those small changes inside of this system is that we have to be persistent and consistent. If we don't and go back to the regularities in our mind, we will be doing all this protesting and looting for absolutely nothing.
And that's my point. We've been doing that.
But hold on, bro. Let me tell you why it's gonna change this time. It ain't gonna change because of us out there in the street. The reason why it's gonna change this time is because of all